IELTS doesn't like questions. But this is a rhetorical question. It means, please proceed with the replacement as soon as possible with this attitude. Hi there. You know that we sometimes make online purchases, and when the thing that we purchased arrives at our doorstep and we open the packaging, open the box, we realize that, oh, this is not what I purchased. This came broken. This came completely useless. There is a hole here. The color here is gone. This is not what advertised online. So we start communication. We open a line of communication with the organization that we purchased, and it has its own headache. So it's a long story. But we're here just for the letter that we're going to write, raising this concern to, the organization that we purchased the particular item from. Welcome to IELTS Juice. We are going to work on this type of letter because it's a skill, not just for IELTS, but if you practice this, you will be able to make sure whenever you purchase a product, it will be something that you want. And even if you are dissatisfied, you can raise the concern and you can get compensated for that. So let's begin. The rubric here says you have bought some clothing online and are not satisfied with your purchase, just as I said in the introduction. But this time we're focusing on clothes. So any item can be a cap, hat, shirt, t-shirt, I don't know, gloves, anything. Write a letter to the company that you bought the clothing from. You know, there are many online retailers that sell clothing and clothing items online. So just pick one. Or you can come up with a fiction name and you can say that I purchased it from blah blah organization, blah blah company, or an online shop. Then in your email, there are 3 bullet points we need to mention in our emails. In our email. And by the way, yeah, what we say, write a letter, but then in our email. I double checked it with the IELTS authorities. I think they made a mistake here because this should be consistent. Either you write an email to the company and in your email you say things, or you write a letter, which frankly speaking, nobody in this day and age writes a letter. So everybody writes an email. Anyway, so this is an email. I'm going to consider the whole thing as an email. Give details of the purchase, obviously. You need to remain neutral and say what you think, not what you think actually, what you purchased. The date that you purchased it, where you purchased it. It was an online shop, so you didn't go to a shop, you didn't go to a store, but you have a tracking code, or maybe a purchase code. Some type of code is available. You might even have a receipt, which in many cases you do. Sometimes it comes with a delay, but you still have a receipt. You can attach the receipt and you can mention that in your letter email here, that you have attached a receipt to this email, for them to follow up and to realize. They just type in a code, that there's a QR code, and they will realize all the information related to that purchase. Then describe the problem. Please make sure when you describe the problem, you're not nagging. You describe it, you remain with a proper tone, because the mindset here is to find a solution. And it's their problem, and this is their responsibility to solve this for you, but you do not need to complain and make things worse than this. So please describe the problem. You don't have to use negative language. And then explain why you need a replacement urgently, obviously. What's with the urgency? You probably have some events already planned in the near future. You might attend a ceremony. You might be present at this very important conference. You have a business meeting and you need this attire. You need this t-shirt, shirt, tie, bow tie, tuxedo, dress, whatever it is. If you know the fashion name for different dress types, go for it. This is where you actually need to exercise your knowledge of fashion. And explain why you need a replacement. Something very important. We are not asking for a refund. We don't need a refund. The money will not help us. We cannot go to this business meeting with the money in our pocket, but we're wearing t-shirts. That doesn't work. I need a proper suit. I'm just telling you that money doesn't help us. We need a replacement. So we are looking for an exchange, not refund. We don't need our money back. Anyway, this is the rubric. Let's move on and check the response. Dear Sir, Madam, why are we starting this? Well, obviously, because the rubric dictates us to start with Dear Sir or Madam. We have no other choice. And by the way, these 4 words, Dear Sir or Madam, will not be counted towards your total word count. Your word count will begin from here. Just to, something that you need to be mindful of. I hope this letter finds you well. I am writing to let you know that I am dissatisfied with the clothing that I have recently purchased from your online store. That's a very good opening. It has no emotion attached to it. It's just clear, and the person who reads it will understand that, oh, this is related to customer satisfaction department or customer excellence department. Okay. And they can immediately forward it to that department. And I have just received it. It's a transitive verb, and you definitely need an object. You might say, oh, but this it is this one. This is something that I have recently purchased, and purchase is also a transitive verb. Why we don't say I have recently purchased it? Because there's that. Correct. In that case, this shouldn't be with a comma, and we needed to delete this I. So it would be something like that I have recently purchased from your online store and just received. Which is still a little awkward. So this is a preferable method because you have recently purchased and received. Would be a little redundant. There's a bit redundancy and it's a little awkward. So it's better to make it in sequences. So I prefer and I have just received it as a separate entity, not as something that is connected to this particular complex structure. I ordered the item a week ago on 14th of August. I need another comma here because this is extra information. And we need a pair of bracketing commas. This is bracketing comma, the name of it is. And it comes in 2 usually, and just gives extra information to the previous data we already read. For my upcoming friend's wedding on the 2nd of September, okay, the order number is, okay, for the X large light blue suits. Let's move on. The clothing size is different than what I have ordered. Oh, that's a problem. That's a serious problem. I have selected the X large in the drop-down menu on your website, and then I have proceeded with the checkout and paid the amount via my credit card. However, when it was delivered to me, I immediately noticed that your colleagues made a mistake by sending, this is extra, me the wrong size. The delivered size is large, not X large, so it's just simply large, and it does not fit me. Cool. I mean, no, it's not cool. Obviously, it doesn't fit you. I know it's a very bad situation, but the way you presented the problem is with a calm tone, a little bit of dissatisfaction, a little bit. I can feel it between the lines, which is good. And you maintain this formal tone. So that also is very good. So there is professionality in controlling the tone and the sentences here. This is done incredibly well. I love it. And that's what I really like so far about this letter. Controlling your emotions, controlling your tone means you have the ability to maintain a range of tolerance. So you don't shout and then you are quiet. You don't go informal and then come back to formal. You maintain your tone in this tolerance, in this range. And that requires skill, which you have. Would you kindly proceed with the replacement as soon as possible? That's a rhetorical question. IELTS doesn't mind that. I know in our series, I repeatedly said that IELTS doesn't like questions, but this is a rhetorical question. It means, please proceed with the replacement as soon as possible with this attitude. But it is to control your feeling, your tone, you're saying, would you kindly proceed with the replacement as soon as possible? That attitude, a little bit of anger and urgency. I like that. I love that the control over the tone is very good. As stated, the wedding will be on 2nd of September, and I need the replacement suits as soon as possible before the wedding date. Okay, I keep repeating this. By the way, we don't have as immediate as possible. That's a made-up structure. Or if it is out there, it's not that popular. So please, as soon as possible, but then we are repeating it. Instead of this as soon as possible, you could have said something like, and the suit must be worn before that for photo shoots, you know? So yes, the wedding is on 2nd of September, but we have a photo shoot planned and paid for in advance on August 30th. So please make it happen. I would appreciate it if you could, this is a second conditional, arrange for an express delivery so that I make sure I get the item on time. Now that's a good sentence. That's a very good sentence. Thank you for your consideration. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. This is another chance for you to make the urgency clear. Again, you need to say your quick response is appreciated. So I can't wait to hear your prompt response, something to that extent, or something to that effect. Yours faithfully, that's a bit too much. Usually just a regards would do in such circumstances. You don't, yours faithfully, like you are faithfully respecting this individual. Not really. They haven't done a very good job. So a simple regards would be enough. Again, is consistent with the tone. Things I'm saying here are very subtle changes. There are no rules here, but they will help. 213 words. Let's look at the band descriptors. Oops, I overshot. Okay. Yes, the tone was consistent, was appropriate. Not 100% all the time, but it was professionally done. So 7 for that. All the requirements were satisfied. Excellent. A little bit about the urgency, just little touches. That's the difference. And we clearly presented bullet points. Could be more fully extended. I already told you which areas needed to expand, required a little more information. Then as for coherence and cohesion, we just had one referencing issue. We had a missing object. And the second conditional also had a missing structure. These are, other than penalties in grammar, if it a little bit confuses who we are talking, who we are addressing, will affect the referencing in your coherence and cohesion. The other elements are stellar. I'm not going to say anything about the other things. We had one overuse as soon as possible. Just one overuse again, same structure. That's all. And because of that, it's not 9. 7 is a very good score for all the other elements. Vocabulary, clear, not many errors. As for grammar, we needed some work, like the second conditional issue, the transitive, intransitive verbs, the ones that needed commas, the execution of commas, the reason why commas should be there, here, there. Every comma we put comes with a reason attached to it. There's a video about commas. I'm going to put it in the description below. It's just 3-4 minutes, but it will help you understand when we say comma, which comma we're talking about. We never put a comma at IELTS or at our English responses just because we feel like we should put a comma there. Never. It is never like that. 6.5 is a very good score. Very good score. It's very close to getting to 7. Just needs a little bit attention to the errors that we pointed out. So double check them. And if you wish to see the improved version of this letter, the link is in the description. Click on it. You will be directed to the IELTS Juice website, and you can see the video here. And you scroll down, you can have access to more information and, of course, the improved version of this particular letter. Thank you for watching, and I hope next time I'll be assessing your Task 2 essay. So until then, take care.